and Dr. Paul at the University of Staffordshire. So this is a research project on going to present more specifically their impact on animal biodiversity, their environmental values in the urban area. So we're going to look at what's a green wall, impact of green walls in the urban environment. So in terms of, as I said, environmental values, animal biodiversity, but also how they can improve the human well-being and have impact on the particulation. Specifically, we'll see what we're studying currently at Staffordshire University of study sites and our diverse lanes of inquiry, and I'll give you some more information about our Green Wall Research Center. Green Wall. I'm sure that some of you, or maybe all of you, are familiar with green walls, but just bear with me a second so I can define what's a green wall for those that might not know what it is. So it's a vertical wall, either standing or part of a building that partially or completely covered in vegetation that can be constructed outdoors or indoors. So basically, you can use a green wall as a boundary demarcation, as an exterior house, office, or industrial wall, as a decorative wall, as an herb wall, or indoors like room demarcation, for example. They vary considerably in construction and have been divided in two main categories, so green facades and walls. Facades, firstly, are made of climbing plants, so that directly on wall with additional infrastructure, like for example the self-adhering climbers, ivy or Boston ivy, Virginia creeper, etc. Or you can use a specially designed supporting structure like stainless steel trays, a metalwork, cabling, so as plant support, and creating a gap between the building wall surface and the green wall. Plants rooted directly in the ground or in container. So, for example, you've got some English pictures. That's the example of a wisteria and here Boston ivy. So you can see like many different fissures and basically. Living wall on the other side, so that's the example of an outdoor one. A modular grid of wall panels, often made of polypropylene plastic containers or just textile. So you can use metal cages, plastic tubes, plastic racks, felt legs, etc. attached to the building, or they will be standing. And they can also be retrofitted to an existing facade or directly installed with new construction. It's an example of a freestanding wall with an integral pump. So this one is a felt layer one. So the routing is directly on the supporting structure, as you can see. And it's set in a growing medium. So you can use either conventional soil or different type of growing medium. So an hydroponic fed nutrient delivery irrigation system. So it means it's a closed circuit in terms of water consumption. Different types of growth media and this, it is very possible to grow any kind of plant, and that's demonstrated by sites across the world. Got some example. This one is in the Univers de l'Espace in Toulouse in France. So that's the example of a green wall that has been installed when the building was constructed. So it's part of the building. This one is more a wall that is retrofitted to an existing construction. That's an example of a vertical garden. So as you can see, this is used as an herb wall with different type of herbs. Imagine how convenient it is when it's straight, in front of your kitchen outside. It's a freestanding wall that demarcates in an open area. To give on how big can a wall be, so this is in an office in Sweden, in Stockholm, in an indoor wall. As one is at the Quai Branly in Paris. So it's a wall. Same thing, it's been constructed with the same time that the building was constructed. So green walls, as with other green infrastructures, can deliver many human and wildlife benefits. They can enhance biodiversity in urban areas, and that's been seen to have measurable human benefits for both physical and psychological. So it's really interesting things to study. There are so many interactions and links between lots of things that it's really great. So some of the benefits will come from the inner structure of green walls and will depend on the type of supporting structure, like commercial system. And some benefits, on the other hand, will be provided by the type of vegetation selected, which means that you really can play around what you want to achieve and want to achieve it. So walls have been shown to be able to mitigate the local climate and the weather, so in terms of temperature and relative humidity through its isolation reduction. They also can reduce stormwater flows by up to 80% due to the building insulation by the thermal performance buildings. So basically what it means they reduce the energy costs by putting a summer shade or winter protection. Take the example of climbing walls. These plants that are climbing on the south side of a building will work well in temperate climates because they will be screening the unwanted summer sun, but they will allow the winter sun to warm up the buildings and to provide light. On the other hand, are growing on the north side of a building during the summer sun, but they will specifically protect from the cold in winter. So that's how it improves the insulation. They also act as bioprotection from agents of deterioration like frost, like direct solar radiation, rainfall intensity, etc. So usually, if you ask what people think of a climbing plant like ivy on a building, they will tell you that I will damage the building. Well, it's not. The contrary has been proven. Yes, if the building is not in shape and not really proper anymore, ivy won't do any good. But if the building actually in shape, in sense that the mortar is still good and the building is not like down, then having climbing plants on the facade will actually protect it. Of course, and it will also reduce the acoustic and the light pollutions. So, of course, 3 points. It's only if the walls are against the building, not freestanding. Biodiversity. I'm sure I'm going to surprise lots of people here if I'm saying that plants attract insects and other invertebrates, such as to feed on their nectar, their pollen, or their leaves. And these in turn will attract predators such as spiders, birds, or small mammals. So green will act as primary or secondary food sources and will also protect against bad weather and predators. It can be used as habitat, corridor, and used as corridor, it means they enhance the connectivity between different green space in urban area, and also be used as barrier and or refuge for many species. Depending on the dimensions, their structure and their vegetation, they will promote certain species according to their trait, which means that it's possible to favor particular animal species or group, selecting specific characteristics. Basically, can decide you want a wolf only I don't know, honeybees and butterfly, or you can decide you want a wall that will attract more birds, or that will be more convenient for snails or small mammals, whatever. So, as you picture, green walls and especially living facades can dramatically improve the urban scenery. They can cover huge heights. For example, the current tallest European green wall is 33 meters high, which is quite massive in terms of physics constraints and stuff. And almost any plants can be grown on them. So the diversity of available plants, so in terms of foliage, in terms of color, volume, textures, shape, etc., permits the design and the construction of various patterns and shapes. You've got the example of some companies. I haven't got a picture that here, but they use a green wool to actually design their logos. So out of the building, you can see the logos of the company made by plants. It's really amazing. So plants also have been associated to many human benefits. They will improve the attention among children. They improve their recovery following operations in hospital. They can reduce stress, and they enhance the work performance in the office, etc. To say just a few. As can be used at different heights on living walls. It's possible to use this system as vertical garden, as I just shown you, for growing vegetables or fruits like strawberries in area space is costly, like a flat, for example, or by people. When you're unable to bound down or you're in a wheelchair, having a vertical garden will give you the opportunity to grow things and to on your own. A point as well is the fact that plants improve the air quality through trapping pollutants coming from traffic or the industry activities. So they will reduce the amount of ozone and consequently the smog as well. They're also able to catch heavy metals and PM. So PM are particulate matters. The PM that you use there is particulate matters are less than 10 microns in diameter, which means that their size allows them to reach really far in the lungs, of massive interest because they're really involved in they're involved a lot in respiratory diseases. So actually, the reduction of PM10 levels is a focus of policy for the Department for Transport and the Department for Environment, Food and Welfare. So it's really something that we need to pay attention to. Having said all that, as you can see, the benefits of green walls are quite broad. Little research has been done on them so far, really. That's why we decided at Staffordshire University to study them and to focus on the differences between climbing facades and living wall in a chalet. So we are actually studying and on different sites. So existing green walls that are established since many months. So we're studying climbing facades in Stoke-on-Trent and Newcastle-on-the-Lyme, so in Staffordshire. Here an example of a real old one. Brilliant, because like that you've got the extreme between really big one and then smaller one. You can see where the threshold in terms of efficiency. That's another example. That's a smaller one. We have different commercial systems. This one is in Birmingham. It's at the Arena at the National Exhibition Centre. That's a wall made by Scotsky and Ness. That wall of a wall we're studying in London. It's again a wall from ENS. And is at a tube station in London, and it's made by Biotech. So you can see that the plan is different for every wall. You really can do everything you want. That's lavender, for example, here, and a private garden in London, and that's established by a company by Treebox. Sorry, that's the biotexture wall, and that ANS wall again. Vortice. Just have a look at it. I'm going to explain what its purpose in a couple of seconds. That has been established by Biotexture at the King's Fund in London, and that's from Treebox. So we did study, and we're studying all those different commercial systems, but we also wanted to survey new walls, assess all the characteristics, like for example, how quickly invertebrates and vertebrates start using a wall. You know, how it takes before they colonize it. What are the first species that are coming on a green wall, and what are one that will come after that. So Staffordshire University acquired a green wall mobiline, a Dutch company. We planted flowering and non-flowering plants in order to evaluate the impact on animal biodiversity. So you can see the different patch here and different sizes as well. So the main objectives of the project are to investigate the value of green walls as invert and vertebrate habitat in areas. So we're using visual search and capture. We're using Vortice, so that the machine you've just seen, which is basically a big hoover, vertebrates with that, from the smallest snail in the world to beetles or spiders or whatever. Also can trap honeybees or wasps and everything. We'll use spider web counting, and of course all samples are identified in the lab with looks and microscope. So looking at the impact of green wool on aspects of urban pollution, like the particulate capture by leaves and steam, using atomic absorption spectrometry, and environmental scanning electron microscope. So those machines are used to establish the size and the composition of particles that are trapped by plants. Also looking at the impact of particulates on plant physiology through synthesis activity measurements. So how the plant trap dust, what front of the suspended particulate matter they remove from the free air, and how capture has an impact on plant growth. Basically, what you want to do at the end is to find the ideal plant that look dashing, you know, like for, I don't know, because of its amazing foliage or the fact that the flowers are lasting lots of months or whatever. But you also want the best plant that can capture and care, really efficiently. But this time, that won't be about because of this job. Okay, plant that catch lots of heavy metals but die two months after that, it's not interesting. So that's the purpose of this axe. And we're also looking at the value of vegetation for building and different commercial systems, because each commercial, one is a rock wool panel, the other one is plastic racks. The other one's got plastic tube, so horizontally, when the one are facing are like directing the plant vertically. So the different commercial systems will have an impact on the building, and we're looking at their impact in terms of thermal insulation, especially. So to show you some of our results. So if you take the bird abundance, morning surveys by summer and winter of climbing facades. So here, like bare walls, so that means no vegetation. Deciduous wall, so wall covered with deciduous plants or covered with evergreen plants. What you can see is that what the season of survey or the type of foliage, the birds are observed interacting with green walls and bare walls always. Like they almost don't use the bare wall, and that's about the local like the funding of it. It's how birds use deciduous climbing walls and rounding of it. So in a 10 meter 10 on the wall. So a significant difference is that in winter, more bound on green walls with evergreen foliage compared to deciduous foliage or to bare wall. So there'll be more abundant environment of a green climate than there will be on the others. We showed during our study that birds clearly exploit station covering walls, that they will in winter, especially because it will provide shelter and refuge. If you take the example of ivy, they will also supply fruits to birds in the cool season. Snail results, for example, if you take the mean snail abundance of green walls per season for sampling method, so that's visual search, and that's by using the vortice, you see that among so birch, snails are significantly more abundant in autumn, and that's the opposite in the vortice samples. Our snail study showed that the type of sampling method has an impact on the coat space, but green walls are used as habitat and as short corridor, so as to give them a path from one to the other. So that I've just shown you some points is a PhD, which means it will end in a few months. But fortunately, the end of the PhD won't be the end of the research on green walls at Staffordshire University. We will create a green wall research center where would be different study with a main focus on the impacts of green walls on building and at biodiversity and on the particulate pollution. So clearly, we only have different types of green walls on the campus. We're looking at different ivy species freely growing on walls. We've got climbing plants established on different aspects using cabling support. We have a range of edible screens and also have living walls using rock wool panels. So we'll go for a wider range of green walls on campus, but also to continue surveying different sites in UK in partnership with different commercial companies in the next few years. So this brief presentation, green basically has the potential to bring environmental benefits to urban areas. However, there is currently some information deficit, and that's why it's interesting to study them. And growing vertically as green wall, there are independent structures on or in the building with literally underexploited vertical space, which is an urban area where space is fleet. And will also allow an additional type of ecosystem to be incorporated into the urban environment, which has considerable benefits to humans. Attention, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And if you want any more information or on anything I spoke about, feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
I'm unmuted everybody now, so if anyone does have any questions for Caroline, please can you ask them now? I'll maybe start with Adam, if he has any questions.
No, I don't specifically, other than to thank Caroline for the presentation. I'm sure Caroline has some better pictures of our green walls looking a little healthier. Room as such, if she wants to share that with people, I'm sure they can be in touch. We also have a couple of pictures on our Facebook page, which is Sustain Staff. If people want to see the green wall better well established. But no, thank you to Caroline.
Okay, lovely, Adam. Emily, do you have any questions at all?
Yes, actually. Thanks, Caroline. That was really interesting. I think my question then down, how are these types of walls maintained, if you know about that? So how are they watered? Is it made just by rainwater?
No. So basically, you can use many different type of irrigation systems. So you can use a closed circuit, as I just showed, when that is that goes through the wall. So it's from clarity that the system is actually irrigating the plants to capillarity and drainage all the water that is. If you plants got too much water and you can cycle the water at the end of it. So you need then to put some light in the water after it. You can use rainwater, which means that means that first you have to make sure that the rainwater you collect is healthy, for plants. If you're living in quite a polluted area, I'm not sure you're living. If it's visible. Some company will have the of basically give as little water as possible, as little as needed. So there's no loss in terms of water, and you just give exactly what the plants need. So that's lots of different strategy to avoid wasting water. Water consumption. That's answering the questions of water. For maintenance, you will have different as well. So commercial system. Sorry. Okay. So I was just saying. Yeah. So you have lots of different strategies. Like some companies will go for the lowest maintenance possible. Okay. They would rather have a wall that takes longer to be established, but that will need no maintenance. Well, we go for really amazing, but their maintenance every couple of weeks. But as everything, when you've got living things, you need to be there and to be sure they're well established before you can actually give them a little rest for a while. So it will depend on the type of wall and the type of system you're going for, and the plants, of course.
Any from anybody? No? Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and a massive thank you for Caroline for sharing that fantastic research. That's been a real eye-opener for everyone, I think. Like I said before, this will all be available as a recorded webinar on the Sustainability Exchange in a couple of hours, and we'll send you a quick survey as well, so it'll literally only take a couple of minutes. So thank you, everybody, for their time, and I hope to see you on the next exchange, which is next week on environmental reporting. So on the website, there'll be plenty more where this comes from. Okay, thanks very much. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.